Hello, welcome to Moose Week for the Peninsula Library Summer Reading Program. Today our stories are about moose. The first story today is called The Useful Moose by Fiona Robinson. It's a truthful, mooseful tale. So this was published by Abrams Books for young readers. Here we go. Some children like cats. Some children like dogs. I like moose. Do not disturb unless you are a moose. Oh, she's got moose slippers, moose signs, moose books, a moose clock, even her cactus is a moose. I like moose. For vacation, my mom and dad took me to Alaska to see some. I looked on mountains. I looked by glaciers. I looked in forests and fields, but there were no moose. So I climbed a tree to get a better view. All I could see was a goose. Perhaps he knew something. Hey, Mr. Goose, I called. Where are all the moose? You won't find any here, he said. The moose have gone on vacation. Usually they go to the beach, but this year they wanted to try something new. So they went off to the city. Well, we didn't wait around. We went home right away. And Mr. Goose was right. The moose was in the city. Our city. Hundreds and thousands of moose. Oh my goodness. In the restaurants, at the shoe store. They were having a great time. That is, except for 3 young moose. I introduced myself. Hi, I'm Molly, I said. Is something wrong? They answered, our hooves are aching. They really hurt. And we're so tired. We need a place to rest. How could we refuse such nice young moose? We took them home right away. We had some trouble getting them through the door. It was like moving a piano, except a piano wouldn't complain so much. Then they were so tired they fell asleep at once. That night I went into their room to read them a book. I whispered their names, Monty, Monroe, Milligan. But all they did was snore. They slept and slept. After 8 days, they leapt out of bed and stretched their long legs. Thank you, kind people, for helping us, they said. Now we want to help you. Please pass us those brushes and brooms. They swept the floor looking like skaters with the brooms as their partners. It was a superb performance. You could eat dinner off that floor, said my dad. The moose looked shocked. It's just a saying, said Mom. Kitchen next, they shouted, and they dashed off. By the time we got there, they had already finished cleaning. Mom and Dad were so impressed. If you help around the house, said my mom, you can stay as long as you want for free. The moose liked the idea. They'd always wanted to see humans in their natural habitat. And it wasn't long before they showed us more of their amazing skills. Monty was a great cook. Ugh, look at this spaghetti. Monroe was a fantastic washer-upper. Milligan and Monty were terrific at drying laundry. And Monroe was wonderful at winding wool. They were 3 exceptional moose. But it wasn't all work for our guests. We took them out for special treats. They liked the movies most. We were all very happy until one day we were watching a TV show about Alaska when suddenly our moose leapt up. There's Mom and Dad, they shouted, and you could see the family resemblance. Then they started to cry. I tried my best to cheer them up, but I knew how they felt. I was homesick once on a sleepover. They bent their heads together and had a quick discussion. "It's the call of the wild, Molly," they cried. "We really must return. We're going to go now before we're cut off by snow. We think a plane takes off at 3. And then they were gone. I miss them so much. It was useless being mooseless. Then one day a postcard arrived. Months more went by. They called. Just as they were telling my mom and dad how to remove a stubborn coffee stain, the line went quiet. "They're probably caught in a blizzard," said my mom. "Look at all the snow. Goodness." Nearly a whole year had passed when I sent them an invitation to my birthday party, but they didn't reply. Had they forgotten me? It was the day of my party, and my friends and I were sitting in the yard. Just as everyone started to sing happy birthday, I heard buzzing like the sound of a great big bumblebee. I looked up, blinked, and looked again. "Mom, Dad," I yelled, "the moose are coming." They just jumped out of a plane. Before we could clear the yard of sharp objects, they had arrived. Monty landed in the rose bush. "Ouch," he said. Monroe landed in the sandbox. "Perfect," he said. Milligan landed in the ice cream. Strawberry," he said. They picked themselves up and dusted themselves off. "Surprise," they cried, grinning from antler to antler. They hadn't forgotten me at all. "And now that we know how to parachute," they said excitedly, "we can drop in any time." Well, some children may like cats, and some children may like dogs. But me, I love moose. The end. The Useful Moose by Fiona Robinson. Okay, our next moose story is called Too Many Moose. It's written by Lisa M. Bakos and illustrated by Mark Chambers. And it was published by Jabberwocky. Here we go. When Martha decided she must have a pet, she marveled and mulled over what she should get. But much of the choices made Martha quite glum. Instead of magnificent, most were humdrum. And just as it seemed like it might be no use, she made up her mind that she must have one moose. There's the moose. The mailman delivered her new moose midday. She signed with an M, and they both marched away. They shared an umbrella. They sipped maple tea. They carved hearts and M's in a mulberry tree. They went to the movies. They shopped at the mall. They both got a manicure, polish and all. "My moose is so marvelous," Martha declared. Not much could match up when her moose was compared. So Martha, quite merrily, ordered one more. Oh, she's at Moose Mart. So she ordered one more, and one more, and one more, until she had 4. The mailman delivered her moose midday. She signed with an M, and they all marched away. They hummed mirthful music. They made lemonade. They modeled some masks for a moose masquerade. They chommed on some crumpets with marmalade jam. They put on some swimsuits and swimmingly swam. "My moose are so marvelous," Martha declared. Not much could match up when her moose was compared. So Martha, quite merrily, ordered one more, and one more, and one more, as she'd done before. The mailman delivered her new moose midday. She signed with an M, and they all marched away. They munched macaroni. They practiced some math. They mixed up some mud pies, then jumped in a bath. They baked homemade muffins from morning till noon. They bamboed till midnight by beams from the moon. My moose are so marvelous, Martha declared. Not much could match up when her moose were compared. So Martha, quite merrily, ordered one more, and one more, and one more, as she'd done before. The mailman delivered her new moose midday. She signed with an M, and they all marched away. The more moose, the merrier, Martha exclaimed. There's much more to moose than the catalog claimed. Seems Martha was smitten. What marvelous luck. Until one day, most all of her moose ran amok. They misplaced her mittens. They muddied her dress. They used most of Martha's shampoo, more or less. They misused her markers. They smashed Martha's mums. They minced Martha's homework and left only crumbs. They messed with her marbles. They tumbled her cake. More moose were most certainly quite a mistake. Oh, gosh, it's hanging from the chandelier. So Martha proclaimed that the moose must go back. She wrapped up some muffins and helped them all pack. The mailman arrived to collect them midday. She signed with an M. All but one marched away. My moose is so marvelous, Martha declared. Not much could match up when her moose was compared. There they go, marching into the sunset. They're so happy. One moose is enough. Too many moose is not good. But we are not going to have too many moose. We're going to make a moose. So if you have your craft kits, in your craft kit you should have some paint. Hopefully you still have your paintbrush from your zebra painting. You have a big wooden disc, a little wooden disc, 4 puzzle pieces, 2 eyeballs, and a magnet. So what we're going to do today is, you'll need to be very careful opening up your paint. We'll start by painting going to paint your the wooden discs. So bloop, 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 paint, 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 paint. So look, voila. Paint this one, paint your big one, paint your little one, all with the brown paint. And then we're going to paint your puzzle pieces. But I'll give you a little trick. If you turn them over, you can paint the back side. It's more cardboard, it's not so shiny, so the paint will stick better. So we're going to paint 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have 4 puzzle pieces painted. Your big circle, your little circle, and that's it, except I forgot my glue. So hang on, I'm going to close my lid on my paint, and I'm going to go get my glue. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. So I got my glue. Here we go. So we painted all of our things and they're all dry. And now what I'm going to do is put a little glue on my small one. And I'm going to put it right here towards the bottom of the circle. Can you see where that is? That's going to be the nose of your moose. And then I'm going to give my moose 2 eyes. we go. 2 eyes and a nose. Oops, it's a little crooked. That's okay. And then, guess what the puzzle pieces are going to be? We're going to glue them together and make antlers. Won't that be fun? Okay, so this one I'll do like this. I'm going to glue that to this piece. And then I'm going to put, oh, I'll do this one too. Let's see. And you can put them crooked or you can make them straight. And then I'm going to put a little glue on here. And maybe here and here. And glue it right to my moose. There we go. So there's my silly moose. After this glue dries, then I'm going to take this magnet, and it does have a peel and stick, so you can peel this red part off your magnet. Ooh, maybe. And then it's very sticky right there, so after your glue dries, you turn your moose over and stick this to the back, and then you will have a moose magnet. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed our moose craft. Feel free to send me a picture of your crafts as you do them. You can send them to the Peninsula Library, the info@Peninsula Library page, or you could Facebook them, put them on our Facebook page, or just send them in my email. So it was nice having you here for Moose Week. We'll see you next time. Bye. Keep reading. Don't forget to keep reading. Bye-bye.